Well, it's going to be a little bit of a volatile ride here for consumers. Probably we will see some minor increases in gas prices.
And then, yeah, Tesla struggled because the car business is lagging, and investors are a lot less enthusiastic about it.
You say very clearly it's still a level 2 system, right, on a technical basis. Do you see the jump to a software platform that powers a vehicle with no one in the driver's seat at all?
All that and more. So let's get to it. Tesla stock is down in the pre-market a little over 0.75%, currently sitting at $326.55. TSLA has proven resilient in the face of some of these macroeconomic conditions. Is it possible that we can reclaim all-time highs? In my humble opinion, it's not a matter of if, only when.
What are you expecting as volatility continues in the oil markets?
Well, it's going to be a little bit of a volatile ride here for consumers. Probably we will see some minor increases in gas prices, probably along with diesel. Airlines also likely to see an increase in jet fuel prices, all of this stemming from oil prices that did surge late last week.
Come on, people. Ease some of this volatility out of your life. Remove yourself from the equation of needing to go to the gas pump. The wife, Chewbacca, and I, we all took an exploration trip to Austin this weekend. 2 hours, over 150 plus miles in one direction, from Houston to Austin, and then from Austin back to Houston. There was no need for us to stop for fuel. Granted, the hotel we were staying at had an overnight charger, so it kept us at 100% pretty much the entire time. Do yourself a favor and get a Tesla. Ditch the pump, and you'll thank me later.
And then, yeah, Tesla struggled because the car business is lagging, and investors are a lot less enthusiastic about it. Still, long-term hopes related to robotics and autonomous vehicles in general, but also a lot of questions.
Let's see if we can answer some of those questions that investors might have. Bloomberg, what you got for me?
The kind of key headline from the React piece is that Tesla's vehicle cost is about 1/7 of Waymo's. Why were you so focused on that, Steve?
Well, I think it's a critical piece in getting it on a commercial basis, on a mass scale basis. And also, the payback is also important. If you can produce the cars at a fraction of the price, look, you can get more of these vehicles out on the road. And also, whoever's running them can actually make their money back much sooner.
There's a couple of big points that Steve made right there. 1/7 of the price of what it costs to put a Waymo on the road. That's no small feat, as long as Tesla can do it. And I think we're still counting down the days when we get our first public Robotaxi ride in Austin, Texas. And the second thing that Steve mentions is that whoever operates these vehicles are going to get their money back much quicker. Note he didn't say Tesla operating these vehicles getting the money back quicker. This is one major distinction that separates Tesla from the other autonomous vehicle players. Each Waymo vehicle costs roughly around $200,000. That's a lot of ride-hailing miles needed to be driven just to break even. Whereas if you buy a Tesla Model Y that you could purchase today from Giga Austin, the cost of that is going to be somewhere between $50,000 and $60,000, significantly less than if you were to be operating a Waymo. As long as the technology works, your best bet is to be utilizing Tesla.
The issue you really highlight is the lack of production of real vehicles by Waymo versus Tesla that just has hundreds of thousands of millions on the road already. Is that the key dividing factor here, Steve?
That's one key dividing factor. I think technology is also important. Look, I don't want to discount Waymo's technology. I think they have had a number of cars on the road. It's working. There's always going to be some issues here and there.
Now, the family and I spent Sunday and Monday in the great city of Austin, Texas. Had I gone by myself, I'd have probably just been chasing Tesla Robotaxi test vehicles around, giddy like a schoolgirl. But considering Tesla is still just testing, I wanted to play it cool, hang out with the wife, Chewbacca, and just experience the city for what it's worth, keeping my eyes peeled for any Teslas that might not have any drivers in the driver's seat, if you know what I mean. I didn't get so lucky to find any Teslas that met that criteria, but what I did see was tons and tons of Waymos maneuvering through the hilly area of South Congress. I mean, if you've ever been to SoCo, you know it's not the easiest place to get around. Not to mention, if you're not native to the streets there, if you're visiting for some tourist reason, it's not too difficult to find yourself getting turned around. Once you get a handle on it though, it gets pretty familiar. Waymo is consistent. The technology is working and probably working better than it did a few months ago. The only real problem is a competitor could come along and eat their lunch by expanding the service area. If you look on the DMV website for the great city of Austin and it's talking about autonomous vehicle players, it'll give the area of operation. You can talk about Zoox, you can talk about Waymo, Tesla. For Waymo, it said Austin city limits of where they're going to operate. For Tesla, it said the Austin metro area, a significantly larger service area. Now, Tesla isn't live just yet, but imagine what happens when they turn on at least 10, 15 of these robotaxis. A few weeks go by and you start to see these beautiful Model Y vehicles more and more. It won't take long before Tesla is dwarfing Waymo not only in rides, but in every other category, in functionality, comfort. I'll be eager to see how this transpires and scales throughout the entire state of Texas. Waymo is currently testing here in Houston, Texas. How long before we see the expansion of Tesla's Robotaxi here in this fine city? Where will Waymo operate? Where will Tesla operate? These are all questions that are going to decide whether or not who dominates the ride-hail space. My money? My money's on TSLA.
But look, I think if you look at Tesla's technology and their approach with using cameras, it's just much easier to scale. And especially now, if you look at the recent news, you know, the Chinese are actually opening up the market for them, and allowing them to export some of that data, training data, out of China.
What? Tesla being able to incorporate the data that comes out of China? Are you kidding me? Another claim to fame that Tesla has over every other autonomous vehicle player is that they're the only autonomous vehicle company that's multinational. FSD is operating in the United States, Canada, Mexico, China, and European countries, just to name a few. That's right, Tesla isn't looking to just operate in a few major cities around the United States. They're trying to go global, baby.
That's a huge win for Tesla and scaling over the long term.
Steve, I used full self-driving supervised, the latest version this morning, to go to 30 miles from my house to the studio. I do it every day. Yeah. You say very clearly it's still a level 2 system, right, on a technical basis. Do you see the jump to a software platform that powers a vehicle with no one in the driver's seat at all?
That's going to be a while. I have to admittedly say it's going to be a while.
That could be a week from now.
I think the consumer needs to gain confidence. It's going to be a gold standard. It's going to be, you know, if a car is 99.99% accurate, I think then the consumer will be more confident. Before that, I think there's going to be always some level of monitoring from the consumer. We're not at that stage where we see, you know, this is not like the iRobot movie that Will Smith was on a long time ago, where, you know, cars are actually driving itself and making decisions on their own. We're not at that moment yet, but what's really important is the training data. And that's where Tesla also comes in as well, where they have just tons of training data from around the world.
Kudos to Ed there. He uses FSD on a daily basis, his commute from his house to the studio. Asking Steve whether or not he can see the leap, because I know Ed can. But for Steve to say it might be a while, kind of leads me to believe he's not using FSD much like myself or Ed there. Like I said earlier, a while might be a week from now, catching even the most learned of individuals about the technology and software off guard. In conclusion, get rid of that gas guzzler, get something that's a little more efficient, use the referral link in the pinned comment below to not only get some of these rewards, but change your life dramatically. These experts, whether they be on Wall Street or just following the technology closely, I feel many of them are due for a rude awakening when Tesla starts giving out rides from a pure vision autonomous driving software. This is going to be monumental. Some experts think that this is going to be a while before this ever occurs. I guess that just depends on your definition of a while. That's all I've got for you today. Be easy. Peace.